Hi students, history's first chapter in class 10th is the rise of nationalism in Europe. I know some of the students find it very difficult chapter because it is lengthy and very vast. So what I'll do, I'll make short videos so that you can understand this chapter. Today I'll give you one video, then in the next video some other topic will be discussed from the same chapter. Okay. Today let us see what is nation. What do you understand by the word nation? Uh, some people they have their own concepts about it, but what is given in the chapter we'll see. Some suggested that a nation is formed by a common language, race, religion, or territory. So, is it a true definition of nation? Think of a nation is formed by a common language, race, religion, or territory. So, common language, though people they try to make a language common, but is it possible? No. That is the definition of nation. That is not the definition of nation. We'll have to understand that someone can impose that this will be the common language for the whole nation. Someone can do that. Someone can make a rule, but that is not the nation. Okay. Then what is a nation? In 1882, a French philosopher Ernest Renan has given his definition about it. Okay, he has mentioned his concept about it in his article. What this Ernest Renan says, a nation is the culmination of a long past of endeavors, sacrifice, and devotion. A heroic past, great men, glory, that is the social capital upon which one bases a national idea. So, for the national idea, what he said, the social capital. What is social capital? The people who have sacrificed their lives, the people who were devoted for the society, the people who put their efforts, that all people, okay, and the history, their lives, everything, okay, the culmination of all this, that is a nation. Now, if there are so many nations, so is it a good idea that there are so many nations? If the whole world will be only one nation and only one ruler, only one master, then all will be happy. What Renan said, the existence of nations is a good thing, a necessity even. He said the existence of nations is a good thing. If there are so many nations, that's a good thing. Their existence of nations is a guarantee of liberty, which would be lost if the world had only one law and only one master. He said if there is only one master and common law, same law for everyone, what will happen? Then the guarantee of liberty will be not there. Okay. What the freedom we enjoy, that will not be there. If a common language that is imposed, that you have to use only one language, then it will be difficult for all the people. Okay. So the the definition of nation and the existence of nations, that both concepts he mentioned, and somewhere we find it very relevant. Now this is of a writer. Okay. Writers and artists, they have played a great role in making the nation, so we'll have to understand it. In 1848, French artist Frederic Soriot, picture is shown in the book also. You can look in the book also. The first figure that shows people offering homage to the Statue of Liberty. That is in France. So Frederick Sorio has, depicted of several things in through this picture. Statue of Liberty. That is a, female figure, and the torch of enlightenment in one hand, and the Charter of Rights of Man in other hand. The Statue of Liberty. The people, they have gathered near the Statue of Liberty. We can see this. The Statue of Liberty, what do you know about it? Now, the Statue of Liberty, the tallest statue it was earlier. Now, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue is there in Gujarat. That is the tallest statue in the world. What do you know about Statue of Liberty? Where it is located? Presently, where it is? It's in New York City. Okay, it's in New York. Now, what is the connection of America, and what's the connection of France? We'll have to see it. France has gifted Statue of Liberty to America. That we must know. Who designed this Statue of Liberty? That is Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. His name is also the person who designed Statue of Liberty. His name is also Frederick. And the metal framework was built by Gustav Eiffel. What is the height of Statue of Liberty? We should understand this. What is the height of the present Statue of Liberty, which is in America? What is the height of that statue? 151 feet and 1 inch. That's the height of Statue of Liberty. Okay. That's another story, because this statue was dedicated on 28th of October 1886. In 1886, the France dedicated this statue to America. Now, the picture shows the people, they have gathered over there, and what is shown in the picture. If you look at the picture, you'll see shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. Absolutist. Now, the word absolutist is difficult to understand, but I'll tell you, if a king is there and he is ruling the nation in his own way, and people, they suffer a lot. So, what do we call it? Autocracy is there. The monarchical, tyranny, that is absolutist. Autocracy, tyranny. Okay, that these are the similar words of absolutist. So that shattered remains, it means people, they have denied that monarchy, they shattered it, and now they are forming a new nation. That picture depicts. Then one concept is given that the utopian, like what is utopia or utopian concept, is like a vision of a society that is so ideal that it is unlikely to actually exist. Very ideal society. Actually, it does not exist anywhere. No society is ideal. But that concept is also given. And one more thing, Jesus Christ, saints, and angels, they are shown in the sky. Okay, that is nothing but the symbol of fraternity among the nations. All the nations, they should have same fraternity. That is shown in the picture. I tell you, some people, they in the picture it's shown holding flags in their hands and marching ahead. So if you look at the flags, you'll come to know there is one flag, black, red, and gold color. At the time of this picture, Germany was not in existence. Germany was not in existence. But the flag of Germany is seen in the picture. It means Germany's foundation was laid in 1848. Then Germany came into existence in 1871. Germany came into existence in 1871. But the flag of Germany, the tricolor flag, that is shown in this picture. And this picture is of 1848. So that we should understand. Now, there is one question. Who are the German people then? If Germany is formed in 1871. So the people from where they have come and formed the Germany, this country. See, German people are of Austria, Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, and Russia. Okay, from these many, nations, they have come and they formed Germany. Okay, that is in 1871. So we have understood this. Now, before nationalism, what was the history? What happened that people they started denying this autocracy, or this monarchical institutions, this absolutist institutions? What happened actually? Why they got fed up of their kings, and what exactly happened? That is, if we look back into the French Revolution, we come to know French Revolution, it happened in 1789. Okay, 1789. There also some people, they played very important role. Writers, they play very important role. Voltaire was a writer, and he has written one book, Candidate, and in that, the revolutionary thoughts are given to the people. The another one is Rousseau, a writer, and he mentions in his book that man should go back to nature. His book name is Social Contract. The name of the book written by Rousseau is Social Contract. And about freedom, he says, man was born free. Man was born free. So, about freedom, the idea of freedom was given by these writers. Now, what happened at that time? There was a king, 16th Louis. He was the king of France, and he was the last king. What happened to him, and why people they opposed him? We should try to understand. He imposed taxes on the people so much that people were fed up of. For farmers, the part of crops, 50% crop will go to the king. 50%. Just imagine. Then 15% to the church. Churches will also have. Then the other ministers and other people, the authorities. So this way, they used to, snatch everything from the farmers, and very less was remained with them. So that is why common people, they got tortured by this king, and no one could go against this king. So there was a revolt, very huge taxes on people, and very bad harvest was there that time. So it was difficult, and even the environmental problems, the flood or famine, what we say, that everything the people they face. So it was very difficult for them. So people they were against the king. And what about then the aristocrats, the officers, and the clergymen? These all people, all these authorities, even the king, they living life lavishly. They had all the pleasures, all the privileges they enjoyed. So what happened? People were furious, and they got angry on them, and then they started this revolution, French Revolution. Today, till this we have seen in this video. Now next video I'll upload, and we'll go in detail about this chapter. So till French Revolution we have reached. Okay, and what happened next, how it got developed, we'll see. Till then, you should go through the book, the chapter. Okay, try to understand. If you don't understand, drop me a question, and I'll give you the answers. So whatever questions or whatever doubts you have in your mind, you should drop me questions. Thank you, students.